And we're off to the races. Well, let me tell you something,
What up?
Demetrius. I'm excited because we've been consistent.
Yeah.
And today, I sent you a message. I said, if you really want to, right?
Yeah.
Like, LOL. Like you could
Yeah.
just be like, no, not today, and I would have like brushed it off and kept working. But
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
glad we've been
figured.
consistent.
Yeah.
But with
No,
that consistency, you were saying something about how you went into your YouTube channel and tell us what you saw.
yeah. All right. So I have this live stream. Every time we do it, it goes to a number of places. It goes to like your LinkedIn and your different whatever you have. But I have mine going to my YouTube channel, and which is actually not even my public YouTube channel. It's just my general YouTube I use, right? But I looked into my channel and it says like, all your videos, and I went to it and it's like just live stream after live stream after live stream. And I got excited because it's like, for me, obviously, I don't think people discover you from your long form content. I think they discover you in generally from your short form content. And I've been having this anxiety about creating short form content. But when I was looking at these 45-minute, hour-long conversations me and you've had, and we had a number of them, and I just remember the nuggets we were dropping and the stuff we were talking about. I was like, oh my gosh, I have like a boatload of just short form content that I just got to process. I got to cut it up or get somebody to cut it up for me. But I got so excited. So like I'm even more excited to get on today. That's why I text you, like, are we still doing it today? When it's the reverse, because it's like I got over that hump of consistency, and that feels good. And I feel like it's going to pay off because at a lot of people that are watching this, or if you're new to this, we've been talking about personal brands probably for like the last 4 episodes. It came up in our last episode. We had a guest on, and I feel like he's kind of like went to the next level with it. And it's like I feel like that's where I'm trying to like ramp up, and I'm trying to like get ready to like launch that. And I got some stuff. I got some content to put out. So
That's exciting. I mean, I think that's about
yeah,
consistency, right? Consistency, and we had kind of an idea of what we wanted to do and a plan, but we just got to it.
yeah, yeah.
Which
And I
which
go ahead, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, no. I'm gonna roll into our thing, but you go ahead.
Okay. The last thing I was gonna say is just like, for me, this does this is very therapeutic. And it's not like I'm out here like struggling in life, but just to be able to talk to another entrepreneur in a consistent basis. It's like entrepreneurship, however you want to define it, is challenging because you're not just an entrepreneur. You're a husband, you're a father, you're a friend. There's all these different things you are, and you can't turn none of them off. So I just feel like to talk to other people and to be like, yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out this balance myself, and this is what I'm doing. I just like that we have a platform that's not just talking about like, here's how you make $10,000 a day easily with no expertise and no experience and no like those things. Like I don't want to make content like that. So I'm done. You can roll into whatever you're
Yeah.
rolling into.
Well, I was gonna say we're talking about consistency, right?
Yeah.
So, I would say that today I had a hard start, and it could
Okay.
be a number of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've talked about this before, as like, you know, protecting our mornings
Mm-hmm.
or afternoons or whenever you start your day, but protecting
Mm-hmm.
because it could lead into like this downhill spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And I think today I'm feeling one of those downhill spirals because I didn't protect my day. I didn't do my little, if you want to call it a routine or
Yeah.
a little whatever it was. But I've been, and maybe it's just just an attack that I'm feeling. But
Mm-hmm.
there's this journey of entrepreneurship is always feels like some type of roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's personal or business, I think for me, like it started last night and got to an argument with my wife, and then it carried on to this morning. And then now I'm like, "Ugh, I don't feel like doing nothing today. I just
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
Friday. And it's Friday, right? It's not like the beginning of the week. It's Friday. This is how I launched my weekend. I don't want to do nothing. But with that being said, I didn't even like start my day how I normally started. I just sat down and I just started chopping up my content because I thought it was something that was kind of like mindless for a little bit. So I didn't have to like
Mm-hmm.
think about anything. I was just gonna edit some videos, bring in some things, which I got a lot done. I edited probably 7 to 8 videos, maybe 10. And I already put them into publishing on, automatic publish on
Mm-hmm.
MetroCool because that's what I use for automatic publishing on my
Mm-hmm.
social, which I love MetroCool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like and then you text me. I even lost track of time. I was just doing whatever. Listen, I didn't do listen, this is how bad it was when it comes to routine that I did not even follow. I don't even think I brushed my teeth first thing in the morning. Now I
I've
brush
had
them
those
now,
days for sure. No,
right?
I get it, but I've had days before. It's like,
I do
even
nothing. I wake up, I'll go for like a 20-minute walk, like listen to the birds,
yeah.
chill, listen to a podcast, come back, eat breakfast, get ready for the day, shower, all that. I rolled out of bed. I had my pajamas on. Again, didn't brush my teeth. The wife is still arguing, upset. I just came into my office, started working. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought about when you text me, I was like, man, how do we as entrepreneurs get off to the right start, regardless of what's being thrown at us? And when you mentioned the whole, like what you're mentioning now, right? Like, oh, look at all these things we have, right? For me, it felt like it was consistency.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't want to brush my teeth, I probably should have brushed my teeth. Probably should
Yeah.
have jumped in the shower like right
Yeah.
away. I did that stuff now, but it took me a couple hours before I was like
Yeah.
even in the mood to do it.
Yeah.
But at least didn't lay there in bed. I was like, look, I want to be somewhat productive. I'm gonna
So
do
are you
something.
one of those people? I'm gonna ask you this question. Are you one of those people that's like, no matter what, I'm gonna do it this day, this way. I'm gonna blast through whatever it is. Like, is that your mindset, or it's like, are you one of those people that's like, you know what? Today I'm about to take off. Today is kind of rough. I'm actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go watch a movie. Like, what type of person are you, or is it like a mixture? You think?
I think it's a mix because yesterday I didn't do nothing. Yesterday I actually went to the casino. It was 11
Look,
o'clock in the morning, and I said, you know what? I'm on this poker journey. I'm gonna go play cards. So I drove an
yeah,
hour to the casino, played for
yeah,
5 hours, got home
yeah,
at 7 o'clock at night, and I didn't feel like, oh, I missed so much. I should have been at
yeah,
work. I felt fine, and my team is working. My team is doing
yeah.
stuff, so stuff is getting done. I could have plowed through some stuff, so but it's a bit of both. So maybe that's why today I was like, I just got to get something done because yesterday I didn't do nothing.
Well, sometimes, okay, so yeah, because yesterday it's so funny. I woke up yesterday and it wasn't even like a bad day. I could just feel myself. I can feel myself getting not like burnt out. It's like a different feeling. It's like my cup is empty right now, and I need to fill it up. And the way I fill up my cup is I do something fun that I'm into, and it can even be work. Like it can be like, hey, I'm gonna work on my YouTube channel, or I'm gonna shoot a YouTube video. Like it can be anything that just something that's just fulfills me, right? And so I did that yesterday. I just did stuff for myself, and I felt really, really good. Today, I was like, got up, I killed the day, and so the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes I feel like, and this is what I used to do to myself. I was a horrible boss to myself, meaning that I would feel ashamed. I would shame myself for procrastinating and stuff like that. Not saying that I should procrastinate, but what I'm saying is that the extra guilt, what my mind was telling me is that, hey, man, the reason you're procrastinating is because you're doing too much. Your brain is trying to tell you, like, hey, man, you're doing too much. Chill out. You need a little balance. So I started taking 15-minute breaks in between like little projects, like 2 hours, 1 hour, hour and a half. Then I would take a 15-minute break, do something else, go in the kitchen, make some bacon, whatever, just something stupid, watch a YouTube video, and then come back to work. I started listening to my mind, and I wasn't procrastinating as much, but also wasn't feeling making myself shaming myself, which is a whole nother emotion. So that's what I was saying for you, if like, because I've noticed those people who are like, I'm gonna do this no matter what, and then they burn out and spiral out, and they're like, they're going through an extra depression because they were telling themselves that they're like this David Goggins type person, and when I feel like no humans like that. I feel like, hey, today I'm going to the casino. That's what I'm gonna do today. And the last thing I'll say is that I feel like we deserve at least to be that now that we're been in the game this long. You've been in the game much longer than me, but now that we're 40, we kind of do. We have no business grinding ourselves down into like into the ground. We have no business doing that. I'll sleep when I die stuff. Like we're 40 plus. You know what I mean? Your
We
mind, I
need
do think
next.
your mind is not as sharp
Yeah.
as when you were 22 years old and you can do all that stuff. I mean, so I don't know. I just feel like sometimes we're too hard on ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I could be hard on myself sometimes. I don't know. I didn't feel guilty yesterday, and
Okay,
I
that's
still
good.
don't feel guilty today.
Yeah,
I just felt the stress of like the wife, and then like I don't feel like doing nothing.
yeah.
You know. Um,
Well, I'll tell you right now, if I get in an argument with my wife, she's the queen of like erasing my whole brain. Just on I can wake up and just be like pop out of bed and I could just be I'm about to kill today. And then she'll be like something. And it's like, I'm going back to bed.
all right. So
It's
how do we when those like so giving yourself a personal day is a lot different than being like derailed,
yeah,
right?
it is. It is.
Okay. So and I think I felt like I was derailed today, even though I got some stuff done, but it wouldn't have been it's not if I look at my calendar, someone told me one time to do a time study, and they're like, "Your time study, every 15 minutes, write down exactly what you're doing in that moment, and then recognize the things that can be taken off of your plate, or the things that are revenue generating. And if things are revenue generating and they need you, then those are the things that set priority. Everything else delegate." I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. That sounds like
But
some Chris Doe stuff.
yeah,
I'm
but
Jose
today
Caballet. I'm
yeah,
Jose. That ain't me. I ain't doing that. But go ahead. I'm listening.
yeah, but today was all about the, like, non non-money generating things, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
just, hey, we're just gonna plow through. And funny enough, 2 or 3 hours into it, I'm like, "Oh, man, I could have turned on a YouTube or something and listened to something in the background
Yeah.
as the no like, there's no noise happening."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess that's the difference, right? So when what do you do to protect yourself from being derailed? Because if you're easily distracted and always derailed, then yeah, nothing ever gets done, right?
Yeah. I don't listen, for me, I don't think I have a good answer. Um, because my family loves to and they try to respect it, and sometimes I realize like my family loves to like give me problems to solve like during the middle of the day or the morning. Um but the one thing I've learned is because I do calendar blocking, and I've done this actually for a very long time. And sometimes I don't get to everything I was planned out, but I used to have my stuff planned, my day scheduled to a T. And now I just have a lot of margin because I realize I'm probably going to get a couple things done in a day. So I just have like my calendar, like a bunch of space in between stuff, and it's like these are the 3 or 4 things I'm gonna try to get done today. And when there is derailing moments, I have time to bounce back because I have like all this space in my day. Like, and I think that that's just because number one, there's always something going to derail you.
Right.
especially myself, I like, oh yeah, I watch a YouTube video and a guy be talking about a business idea or a business model, and I'm like, this is kind of interesting. And I go on a rabbit hole, like researching it, knowing that I ain't gonna start to know no new business, right? So I
Yeah.
do that all the time. But I just think the margin in your day, like you can't have your day packed to the brim. And because what ends up happening is if you have so much stuff on this day, so much stuff on this day, so much stuff on this day, and then this day gets blown up, now that stuff has to go to the next day. But that next day has got extra stuff on it now because it was already packed to the brim. So
Funny, I hear things differently on the other side. I hear they say, "Don't leave no white space," which basically blanks in your calendar because
yeah.
white space is for the devil. Which I don't know. I guess it could go either way. But yes, if you're not getting something done and your days are packed, you're moving, you just move something to the next day,
Yeah.
which is already packed.
But think about it. Think about it does a lot of this depends on who you are, how your mind works.
Sure.
I will say this, you are definitely without a doubt a very organized person. You're very organized and methodical in a way of you're thinking about the method and how you're going to approach your weeks and your days and all your projects, right? I'm a lot more shoot from the hip. So I need structure too. So but I need loose structure. I do really bad like well my if it's like 11 o'clock and I'm supposed to be doing this at 11 o'clock, I'm like freaking out now because I'm like, oh my gosh, I messed up my schedule already. And it's like, so I can't operate like that. It just I might only be worth 50 million and I might not ever be worth 500 million because of that flaw in my life. I'm okay with that. But I just know myself. I think you could probably operate in that a lot better than me because I just think you're just already just a very organized kind of very consistent person to me. Like you've always been like very consistent in that type of regard. So
Yeah. Well, I think of the lady who was like, if you have to make a decision, count down to five, count down from five, and when you get to five, just do it. I do that for bed. Like sometimes I'll be laying in bed and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I gotta get up, five, four,
I know.
three, two, and I literally just jump out of bed. And I'm
I
like,
know what you're talking about. I actually did that same thing. That the funny thing about that is that's the piece of advice that actually works for
yeah,
me.
it
Yeah,
it
I know
does
exactly.
work.
It's that blonde chick with the glasses. I can't remember her
Yeah,
name.
I don't know what she teaches or what she does, but it was like, all right, five, four, three, two, one. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
doing it. Um, yeah. So I told myself on this journey that I'm doing for this like this poker stuff. I said, all right, I want to be at my pristine, right? So I want to meditate more. I want to go on daily walks and
Hmm.
kind of just get into the, and I don't even say best shape, but best
Yeah.
mental capacity that I can have, which will help me in all things. And as I started that a couple times, I had to do that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because if not, I'm like, oh. And
Yeah.
funny enough, I had this conversation with my son. I told my son, I said, listen, because he wants to, try out. They have this like for juniors. He's a sophomore, so like sophomore and juniors go to this football camp, and it's for college recruiting or whatever. And I said,
Hmm.
listen, but the question is, so I committed to myself. I said, listen, I'm gonna wake up 1 hour earlier a day. That way, I can do all the new things that I want to do. If that's my daily walks, if my meditation, whatever, so
Hmm.
that it doesn't, I can keep my flow.
Hmm.
And I asked him because he slept in yesterday or whatever to like 1 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, get up, you're lazy,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Um, he's like, oh, yesterday he woke up at like 8 or whatever. He said, oh, I woke up at 8. Is that better? I said, well, I mean, it's not necessarily waking up, right? It's not
Hmm.
about the waking up piece. It's about what do you do with your time.
Hmm.
If you wake up 8 o'clock and just sit around or play video games, then is that reaching is that going to help you with your goal of playing college football?
Hmm.
Probably not, right? So maybe you need to run, maybe you need to do something.
Hmm.
So I told him that, and I thought that's kind of like what when I thought about protecting my day and the importance of like staying on track. Today, I totally dropped the ball, but it's like things I need to put things in place that I could be consistent at that'll kind of like gear me up. It's like these little wins that I could take I mean, that's just like business, right? You start a new business, you started your software company, and you're like, let me get the first win. Maybe the first win is like, hey, I built the website, and the next win is like,
Mhm.
hey, I developed a couple videos for it, and then your next win is, now you got someone on it, right? Now you're breaking even. You're like, oh man, now you start getting this momentum because you had to take
Mhm.
small little steps. And I think that's the importance, maybe, of, if you want to call it, protecting your mornings, protecting your days, is like, what little things can you put to keep you in momentum so that you don't
Mhm.
just waste your day.
Yeah.
Unless you want to waste your day.
No, listen, wasting the day. I hate those days where I feel like it was a stressful day and I didn't get nowhere. I'm like, I'm
Mm,
stressed out and I didn't get nowhere.
mm,
I think the number one thing that you mentioned, stuff that like derails your day. The stuff that derails my day is when clients reach out to me and it's like almost like I have to hop on that project when it wasn't that whatever they're asking me to do was not a part of today for me in my mind on my calendar. And I was a people pleaser, and I think I had to learn that, like, first of all, I don't. I have my notifications are off on my emails, but I keep my text messages on, and obviously, and my clients just know, like, if it's an emergency, text me because I check my emails once a day, sometimes twice, and sometimes I got to go in there for just because I got a like a one time password or something. I have to go in there and I see the emails, but they don't. Their communication doesn't exist to me that day because it's if it's not an emergency, then we can't be doing same day service, same day meetings, right? That's another thing. It's like, hey, can we meet today? It's like, no. I mean, think about what you're asking me. It's like you're asking me, can we meet today? And you're texting me today. Now it's different if it's like me or you. We and you jump on Zoom calls all the time. That's different. I'm talking about clients. So that used to jack me up because they're always trying to either send you some stuff and talk to you, and a lot
I
of
think
times they're not. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's the importance. They're trying to get a hold of you so you could
Yeah.
do a project for them, or like, hey, I need this done.
Exactly. And I just been having to give like those realistic expectations of like, hey, I just like sometimes it's even the evening. It's like, hey, okay, I'll respond back in the evening. I say, hey, I just, I see what you wrote, da 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 da. I probably can get this done next week, Tuesday, or maybe we can jump on the call or whatever. But I start to push things in the future a little bit more because what I realize is the quicker I am at doing things, it's the more frequent we're doing stuff. And it's like I'm always feeling this, my margin goes away and I'm feeling like stressed. And there's so much stuff on my plate. And I'm just realizing like stuff don't gotta get look, they want it done in a week, it can get done in 2 weeks. And those are the conversations I start to have. It's like, okay, does this absolutely need to get done in a week? No, we just want it done in a week. It's like, okay, well, then that changes my whole life just because you want it done. So it's like that's something I had to like do like just this year and a little bit at the end of last year. I started implementing that because the clients would derail my day, not on purpose. They're doing their part. They're a client. They're communicating with me. So I'm not a doctor. I ain't on call. Okay.
Yeah, I try to protect myself from distractions, especially
Yeah.
emails, because you can look at emails. I mean, if you look at your email even once every half hour, I mean, 3 or 4 new emails come in that derails you from a project, even if it's, once every couple hours. So I try to say, all right, I check it in the morning and then I check it early afternoon so that I don't get distracted. Because next thing you know, like I have this thing and then this client is upset and I have to say, oh, I got to make it better. I'd rather know
That
later
okay.
on at night.
You literally okay, so you're working on a project
Yep.
and you're like, the momentum is there. You're
Yep.
locked in. You get an email. You sent a client over something yesterday for them to look at. Now they're looking at it.
Yep.
They're responding back with their thoughts. And you just happen to see the first part of the email says, "Yeah, I think we need to go in a new direction on this. I'm not really feeling the," and it's like you just took all you just now. I'm
Suck
working on
it
this other
all.
project. You sucked it all away. Now I'm like, because I'm saying my mind thinking like, well, what could I do to? Okay, what could I change that they would? It's like you took my mental capacity away at that moment. Like now I'm trying to calculate how to make you happy when I'm simply finishing this other project. So that and I'm here's the thing, dude, and I know you probably we can't get away with it. I'm trying to get away from deliverables.
Mm.
I am trying to quickly gear my business into like deliverable. There's no deliverables. And I know that sounds crazy. Like, how do you do that? And it's just like, it's just changing up your services where it's just like, man, the Zoom call was a deliverable. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's done. Like I sent you the recording or whatever, I'm working on this Zoom tool. It's not even a Zoom tool. It's not even for Zoom. I'm working on this AI tool that you could take, meeting transcripts, Zoom transcripts, drop it in, and then what it'll do is it'll automatically spit out, like, for example, like a business intensive, right? It'll automatically answer all the questions and spit out all the answers. And then you might have to go in and just do some tweaking, but it does 99.9% of the work. You just got to do the final processing and then like send over that PDF and be like, it's done. This is what we talked about. That's how I'm thinking, because it's like I don't want to deliver anything anymore. And that's why I like the software business, because it's like you're not delivering any there's no deliverable. So
nice.
listen,
All right.
I know what I'm optimized for. So what are you gonna
There
say?
you go. I have a deliverable for you right now.
All right, go
All
ahead.
right, I would love for us to look at this website together
Okay,
and give me your feedback on it.
absolutely.
Love it. All right, so I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go here.
Did you build it?
No, no, not at all.
I don't want to be mean.
No, be mean. I appreciate if you would. Let's present screen window. See if this works. Can you see my screen?
I can.
All right. Now, should I give you any information, or should we just like run with it?
Yeah, I wouldn't give me any information. Okay. Uh
So people who are listening in right now, Demetrius is looking at this website, and from your first, like it's a gut feeling, do you know what this website is about?
I mean, only because I know a little bit about servers, but not enough where this would probably, like, I wouldn't see the value proposition. Wouldn't mean anything to me because I don't know what the problems are. But I do know what.
So the first headline says simplify your IT ecosystem, all in one server, compliance and patch management.
Yeah.
Simple automated patch software distribution and server lifecycle, repeatable across physical, virtual, and cloud servers, reliable, centralized management with real-time reporting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a pretty clear description, you know. Like honestly, like it's easy to read. Um the site looks clean just from an aesthetic standpoint, which I don't think a lot of people realize aesthetics do matter. It's not necessarily about the design, like do people actually like the design. It's more about the cleanliness and the spacing and the readability. That is important because people associate higher value things just look cleaner and just better organized. So I would say like because there's also too like that the whole conversation of how good could this website get design wise that actually translates to more leads. It's there's like a, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're trying to make things too perfect and it actually doesn't do it actually doesn't do anything because this to me is beyond good enough. I think it's one of the only question I have, because I don't have know enough about it, is like, is that a problem in the market that the target audience actually just needs to solve, right? But from the headline, it's clear what it is. So like, to me, it's like the problem's there, then this headline is it's clear. It's clear.
Well, one thing that I watch on YouTube, TikTok a lot, and I've been seeing more and more. It's this guy, Pizza Guy, right? And he comes out, and he's famous now. But he comes to your place. He's like, "All right, you guys know the rules." He buys the pizza there. He says, "One bite, one thing, and I'm gonna rate it," right? And he bites it.
Yeah,
Takes
you
it
talking
back.
about Dave Portnoy?
Okay, then you know who he is. And he's like, "This is
Yeah,
a 7.8, solid,
yeah,
solid 7.8." All right. So the
yeah.
question I would ask, from your first look at this, if you were to judge it, what would it be? You know the rules.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, okay, I would say this. I would probably give it. I would give it a 7.5 from this for design, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean. A 10 to me is just perfectly optimized. We can even go beyond 10, because beyond 10 is just you having fun with design. You're just doing stuff to have fun, like animations and stuff like that. Like, to me, I just want to talk about like what's actually going to get leads. Like, so I think it's a 7.5, and here's why I say that. You know, the top part is a bit boring, not in a bad way. It's just that blue, just it's a lot of just boring. It just seems boring, and I wouldn't even put like a video background or anything. I would just maybe have a little gradient or just a little bit extra little pizzazz. Some of the
Well,
spacing,
I like what they have here. This gives it a little
yeah, that's
pizzazz.
fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because there's an image there. But again, that's all subjective. What I'm saying, I'll tell you what I do like though. I like how the schedule demo is um more prominent and is consistent. Um, I like how they have social proof on the top. Everyone knows what Capterra is, and the other one I actually can't tell because it's too small on my screen. But I like how they have social proof. The one thing that would be dope, which is that they have trusted by Fortune 500 companies, and I it doesn't mean anything anymore because everyone does it. I would love to have a little blurb about how they use the software or some case studies, right? Because it's kind of like, obviously you don't want to give away the sauce of how Xerox is maybe using it because it might be proprietary to them, but it would be great to say Xerox uses this across all server farms or whatever the answer is, just little blurbs, because the marketing bros figured out ways how to get in Fortune magazines and all these things, and Bloomberg, to have an article written about them, and then they put it on their site, and it's like, well, what did Bloomberg do with you? Because I've seen that before where people have Google on their site. I'm like, what do you got? You bought Google ads? Like, what? Like, how is Google working with your company? Like, the Google's too big. Like, why are they working with you? So, but I'm not saying that they don't work with these people. I just think this is a great place to say, here's how we've affected Xerox or Estee Lauder or these different companies. So that's number one. But I love the graphics because it kind of gives you a glimpse of what the software looks like, which is, people like to know that. People like to know, like, what am I getting into?
A little bit of behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, so those are yeah, it says 20 plus platforms. Yeah, I might have a button, a link to the full list, because that's not 20.
And more. You can put and more. And then
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And then
I would make I would make these a little bit bigger, more prominent, and even if I could do a photo.
And the one thing I like to do, what'd you say? Add a photo of the person?
Yeah, just to make it more real.
That's what I was gonna say. I was actually saying I love that because again, you're just trying to like make it not seem like a digital dark web thing, right?
Yeah, there is, as you can see, there's no human photo.
Yeah, I would
So
and this might be a challenge, but I would have, because I said schedule a demo, I would have some sort of like 30-second minute video they can play that says some of this stuff and shows a little bit of what it can do,
I like that.
just on the screen, because I think that'll help. Now the chat bot, what does that do? Does that get you direct? Does that answer questions for you, or does that get you connected to somebody?
Oh, they want you to give up an email right away.
Yeah, I get what they're trying to do. I think our world's changing. It's like, hey, I'm like, I need more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need more before I start trying to get locked into some sort of sales
Ye-
funnel.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
believe that too. I think the world is, if you want to say, evolved now to, like, everyone wants you to give up an email, but everyone's sick of having 1,000 unread emails in their email box.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I think it's
But
okay to give up some information beforehand.
and here's the other thing too, and this is controversial. Everyone has their approach on pricing, but when it says schedule a demo, it's probably super expensive. And to me, this is where you really have to drill in on the problem, because you have it's like now it's like I'm going into that mystical forest. How many mystical forests do I want to go into? I just, at this point, like, if you can't tell me the price and I can't get more information, it's like you got to be really focusing on the problem. Then, like, this page should be a lot more probably on it about how it's going to save you time and save you this, and your boss is not going to fire you, and you're like it should have even scenarios like, have you ever got the ping late at night, the servers are down. It's like, those type of, like, I think if you got going to tell me the price, you're
Yeah.
going to have to really entice me and hook me to want to schedule a demo, you
Yeah.
know? So that's the only thing I can say, is just like, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm the type of person where, like, if you have scheduled a demo on your thing and I can't find your pricing page, I literally just forget about you as a company, because that's a part of the decision,
Yeah.
and it's like,
But maybe
but
that price includes, oh, well, how many servers you have, how many of this, what's your infrastructure?
no, I
Maybe Dell needs more, you know, patches or security. Then so I could see why maybe at this type of solution you would need. But from your point
yeah,
is like, okay, well, tell me what fears. If I don't know the fears,
exactly,
tell me the fears I need to be aware of so that
exactly.
I want to schedule a demo quickly.
And even what you said, there should be a page that says pricing. You click on it, and it should say, our pricing is bespoke. It depends on number of factors. This is why it's important to schedule a demo, because we're going to go over these factors with you
Mm.
and give you a clear price. Again, even if you're not going to give me the price, let me know the steps. There's this thing called the 13 P's. I know you heard of it. And one of them is just like basically presenting the process. People, and you could do an experiment on people. Take them to, like, say I'm going to a party, right? And I'm going to the party and I'm in line. And they're like, all right, look, you're going to wait in line. As soon as you get in, you're just going to wait in the lobby. Okay. So then I'm in the lobby and I'm waiting, and everyone's looking around at each other. It's like, what's next? And we're starting to get anxiety because we don't know what's next. What's the next step? What are we gonna do? But if they would have said, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna wait in line. They're still setting up. We're gonna let you wait in the lobby to get you inside because you guys got here early. Give them about 30 minutes. Samantha's gonna come out and check in with you guys, make sure you're good. In about 30 minutes, they're gonna let you in. You're gonna probably hear music playing. You're gonna hear all types of stuff because they're just trying to get the equipment set up. But about 30, 45 minutes, we're going to let you in. They might even bring out some drinks for you guys, a little hors d'oeuvres. Now I'm like, cool. I'm like, 40, 30, 45 minutes. We about to be in a party. I'm cool. I'm chilling. I'm
But you know
cool. I
the
know what's
process. At
next.
least you know.
At least you know what's next. And I think that a lot of businesses make it where it's just like you having your customers or clients run into a wall. And then they want to look around the wall and they're like, now you give them a new frustration that wasn't even a frustration that they needed to have. You're trying to solve this problem over here, and you gave them another problem. And the problem is they don't know what's next. So I just feel like our society is instant gratification. We can get we can get access to a lot of things immediately, businesses have to start to realize that you got to give people access to things immediately. Even if you're trying to keep something secret, you still got to like tell them at least why a little bit. And then they're like, okay, that makes sense. You can't give me a price. So that's my 2 cents on the site.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I think one thing they could do here, because this probably looks horrible on mobile with this, all this verbiage. One, yeah, I would think I would add some, for me, the hero background. I'm okay with it, but like you said, it could have a gradient, or it could have like
Yeah.
some simple design elements like this.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe even a video. But for
Yeah.
this, what I would do with this, I would make this a mega menu.
Mega menu. I love mega menus.
Yeah, I would drop this
I
whole
love it.
section down, and for
Yep.
each one of these pieces,
Yep.
associate an image with it to
Yep.
start giving it more clarity.
I agree with you.
Because, like, you know, going into 3 lines here, this should not be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
it looks stressful to my brain. Like it looks like, oh, I can't even even let my eyes look at
I gotta
that.
read all this. It's all close
Yeah.
together. Yeah. So I'm with you. Mega menu, some
Yeah,
big,
for sure.
big images that recognize with it. I
Mhm.
agree with you down here. Add some images for people. Tell the story a little bit better.
Yeah,
Case
I mean,
studies. There's a lot.
there's a lot missing with they're not again, I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna wrap in what you said about telling the story. In that story, it's really just harping on, because this is one thing that people don't do. And when I do any kind of consulting, I always bring this up. Is like external and internal problems. You have to address both. So address the main problem: servers going down, like loss of data, compliance issues, all these things. You can maybe get fined, whatever, all these different things. Then you got to do the internal. It's the emotional impact that these problems, the anxiety of losing your clients' data, just all this, security, the security issues that you might have, and things like that. I think if you tell a great story, you could do all that. You could do branding, you can do the problem that you're solving, and you can hook people into a situation. They're like, yeah, I've experienced that type of stuff. Like people can basically put themselves in the story. And I think that would help somebody like me if we do the caveman test, right? Like, I don't know anything about this. If they had some more of that stuff, I probably would know more about it. I mean, even though I don't know anything about it, I would know, like, oh, so loss of client data. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, but now I do. As a noob to this. So,
All right, good. There it is.
Sweet.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, that's a potential client.
Yeah.
I just got some free advice from Demetrius. I'll send you a not a referral, a affiliate commission if I hit it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think that's all I have for today. Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
That's why I appreciate
it. That's all I had too. I didn't have nothing extra.
All right. Protect your days. Don't get derailed. Until next time.
All right. Peace.